Hey guys, this is Collin Moshman for CardRunners.com. Today we have a $30 6-max Turbo SNG that I played on PokerStars. I picked this game because there are a lot of interesting spots and several mistakes that I made and want to go over. So let's get right to the action. So UTG here, I would generally raise a range of about 5s, Ace-Jack offsuit, Ace-9 suited, 10-9 suited plus including all suited Broadway hands, and King-Jack offsuit. Queen 7 off, we fold facing some prior action. Now the pocket tens here are normally 3-bet. I did elect to flat here, and part of that was because I didn't know much about the player in the hijack. I didn't want to face a 4-bet, so usually just a value 3-bet. But in this particular instance I flat, and as played, my plan is to check fold the flop, but he checks back. I'm then going to check fold the turn, but happily it gets checked around in the pocket 10 showdown, presumably against a hand like pocket 7s or a lower pocket pair. So a couple more folds. Let's take a look at how this player busts. So we see an open limp and then calling a raise. A lot of the time this is going to be a hand like a low pocket pair looking to set mine. And it gets around 3 ways, and this player calls twice and now shoves. So at this point, given that he busts, he probably had some kind of a bust to draw. So a hand like King 9 suited. In fact, he has second pair, so a shove that basically has no purpose, as he's not going to get better hands to fold, and he's not going to get worse hands to call, for the most part. So pocket jack's definitely a different situation from the last one with the pocket tens, and the main differences here are that first of all this player is the cutoff instead of the low jack, which will widen his range, and also now the effective stack with this player is about 40 blinds. So if we 3-bet here, it's fine if we could 4-bet because we're definitely going to be willing to stack off. So I 3-bet plan to get it in facing a 4-bet, and he flats. Now before we even go to the flop, we want to think some about our plan. So for sure, if it's an all low card flop, we're going to happily stack off. If there's multiple overcards, so let's say for example it comes Ace King 5, I would actually just check fold here. And if there's a single overcard, I would usually bet fold depending on the texture and then check the turn to him. So obviously a very nice flop. Now the key thing here in terms of what we bet is we want him to think that he may have fold equity if he shoves. So for example, if we go ahead and we fire, say, 380 here, like close to 90% of pot, then he might see that we're committed. It really looks like we have the kind of hand that we do. So I just size at half pot. I think that this gives him plenty of opportunity to bluff shove if he wants. And in fact, that's what he does. And so we bink the early double up. Ace-8 off, a clear open. And the big blind min donk bet. So against an unknown player, I'm going to interpret this as weakness, and I'm going to raise here with the vast majority of my range. So with some hands it's going to be for value, with some it's going to be a bluff, with others it's going to be more just to take the betting lead and have the flexibility of betting turn when we want, checking back when we want. So that's why I raise here. So I think that most of the time he is going to call here. Some of the time he'll fold, which is fine, and when he calls, he'll usually check back turn unimproved and then evaluate on the river, but he in fact just gives it up. So 5-3 off, we toss. King 4 offsuit, I would generally open fold in the small blind. Against any kind of tighter player, I would just open raise to 75 here. Against a reg, I'm just going to fold. I think that 100 blinds deep with position, they're not going to fold often enough, and it's easier to just fold. We won't show a profit with that open. 6-9 suited is a fold. Other options to 3-bet, we definitely want to incorporate some light 3-bets in 6-max. So we could 3-bet here to 150 and apply a lot of positional pressure, and it's definitely a valuable tool in your arsenal for 6-max, even though in this particular hand I elected to fold pre.